Sorry, got caught in for doctors. Yeah, so I think there should be a second part, I guess. So the first part with that, and second part, maybe tell you guys a little bit about on why the market is behaving like this, other than all the reasons I talked about in a previous video. Um, Sorry, that one got cut short. Another reason that market is behaving this way is because when you have uncertainty and then when sort of everybody is hoping that the bleed doesn't persist, what's gonna happen is on a Monday like this, usually a lot of people buy back, and a lot of people buy back, and then they sort of like sell it on a Friday night by the end of like market close, and then they wait a little bit. And the general market consensus is, hey, a lot of things are already 50% down, especially the small caps and medium caps, and the big things are still like up there. And the market is literally trying to decide whether, not really the market is trying to decide, but the entire world is trying to decide, hey, like, I know that tech stocks are overvalued, but they're literally everywhere in our life. Is it time to pop the bubble? Is it time? And also, like, another thing you have to consider is, I think what I did wrong as a trader, especially in the past few weeks, is I have very very accurate directional calls, but my timing calculation I don't think is as accurate as before. I should have given it more wiggle room, and a lot of people are taking this principle of, hey, you gotta take profit whenever like your short is up a certain percentage, and for me, I just think it's not there yet, which I think is a really horrible idea. Probably should take profit there and then just wait a little bit, because capital is king rather than, it's one thing being right, another thing is getting results from being right. And I'd rather have results from being right than actually just being right for the sake of it. So on another dilemma you will see trading option is sometimes your directional calls and especially price predictions or your range is really, really good, but sometimes you get unlucky. And yes, let's say you have a month-long option, but it only basically got realized or generating profit by the end of, let's just say, the last week of the option contract, then you're basically taking on a huge amount of risk. You take a lot of mental tolls on top of that, and at the same time, usually those when Theta KK comes in, it's really hard to really hedge option contracts by the end of its expiration. Therefore, by the end of the expiration of any option contract, you will see very volatile movement. And a lot of people believe in this thing called max Payne, which I think is totally useless. But it's totally useless. But if you really like to have something to do, you can figure out what max Payne is. It's basically, at what strike price people will lose the most money, or the market makers or the institutions or whoever is holding a sort of like a home advantage position that would gain the most from other people's option contracts getting not exercised. So they just basically expire out of money, or expires because of certain situation that is going to get exercised. That thing could be one of the things that, if you guys are interested in, I can talk more about that. Another thing we have to cover today is, if you go look at all of the small caps, they recovered losses from last week, but they didn't really recover from the losses in terms of on a exponential moving average sort of situation or standpoint. And at the same time, in a long-term trajectory, all of the derivatives and all of the slopes of how moving averages are going are indicating that it's right now not value city yet. That means, if it's when I say not value city, that means the total downside value haven't been exhausted. Therefore, today it's only the price movement is only due to high volatility, not really due to actually value increase or value exchange. Therefore, today's right play is actually to sell options than actually buying some. Or let's just say you hold a lot of stock, it's probably time to do a lot of selling of the call options, sell some covered calls and be happy with it. And you probably will take a massive premium by the end of this weekend. And yeah, this is about it. And again, we're not financial advisors. We do not give financial advices, and everything we say on this channel is for shits and giggles. See you guys on the upside.